We're on?
Yes, we're on.
Great. Thank you everyone for coming. This is the Police and Public Safety Committee. And this application is a resubmission from the June 2020 application by Mr. Luis Garcia Maldonado. At the last meeting, his sister, Bridget Garcia, who was also his business partner, was also on the last application. So I'm going to give Luis, Mr. Maldonado, a chance to just tell the committee why this submission is different from the one from June.
But actually, Luis Garcia, his English is not very good. If you allow me, I could explain the reasons why the application is being resubmitted from last year.
Sure.
Yes. So basically, according to the owner, a lot of things just happened last year. His previous representative did not ever submit the application to SLA. And also they will have a lot of issues with the lease because of the back didn't pay the rent. So he was doing a lot of renovations on the restaurant. And as you may see on the photos that I submitted, the restaurant has been fully renovated. And also they're still missing a couple chairs, equipment, etc. And the reason we actually resubmitted the application because the initial commuter board notice was very old. So we didn't want to take a chance to submit.
Say that part again. I missed that. Say that part again. What was old?
Yeah, it was actually because the previous commuter board notice, it was backdated back in June 2020. So I realized that SLA might consider a little bit old for them to use that date. It was backdated. So we wanted to be safe and to have the most current date with the most current commuter board meeting. So this way they had the most current information while we're submitting to your office based on the documents, the photos, and also we recently applied for a new letter no objection. He just explained to me that last year, the previous representative never paid for the filing for the letter no objection with the apartment buildings. So we're pretty much starting from zero. We're starting from scratch.
Okay.
Yeah.
But based on, what happened at the last time, I don't understand why this meeting and this application with these owners would be any different. And that's, I think that was why I'm asking for him to explain.
Well, he doesn't have the documents that he has submitted with the representative last year. I asked him the same question, not to resubmit the brand new application with the commuter board. I was trying to obtain the old copy. It was not retrievable. So I pretty much don't know what document has been submitted, what type of photos, what type of information. So we were blank, I would say. That's why we were submitting their brand new application. But if any of you can speak Spanish, that would be great to ask him the question, but his English is not very good.
No. I don't speak Spanish. He could have brought an interpreter.
Okay.
Jill has a question. Josephine?
Is Jill? Jill, you have to unmute yourself.
Yes, I did. I'm sorry, but if I remember correctly, in June, I remember Luis.
Okay.
I think, I could be wrong, but his English was fine.
Okay.
And I remember him explaining how he was in the industry for a long time and he wanted to have his own restaurant. I mean, I could be wrong. I would like to hear from Luis because I remember him speaking perfect English.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Give it a try.
I could be wrong. Go ahead.
Luis, ¿quieres intentarlo en español o en inglés?
Me siento más confortable hablando en español.
Okay. Me dijeron que el año pasado hablaste en inglés más o menos bien.
El año pasado tenía una amiga que me estaba ayudando en inglés. Yo solamente hablaba español, nunca hablé inglés.
Oh, okay. He was saying that he had a translator, a lady who was translating English, but he was actually talking Spanish. Sister? Okay.
Was as his sister. They were sitting together, and she said, "Speak with him." He did speak in English that evening, but she was basically the spokesperson. I just have one question: since you do speak Spanish, I'm sure you're not getting paid to do this, but I know that he, on the application, he said he also had experience at Sueño Americano. How is that
Yes.
restaurant going?
That restaurant is closed. The reason why he never disclosed that information because the representative did not ask him the question very clearly. So I personally asked him twice, what type of experience do you have in the restaurant? Do you remember any restaurant that you previously worked before? It doesn't matter if the restaurant has been closed, but I need to actually show that information that you give me proof of it. So he actually disclosed this information to Americano that is located at 3316 Junction Boulevard. He doesn't recall when the restaurant was closed, but he used to work there as an assistant manager.
As a manager?
As
Okay.
assistant manager, but he
Assistant
he
manager.
didn't work there full time
Okay.
because he used to have another line of work was called Fast Line. So that was actually like a multi-service establishment / juice bar. So he was actually had like a side business inside the store. He was the owner. So he was preparing like a small business, like empanadas, juice, type of things. But it was like considered like a small coffee shop. But at the same time, he was actually had the multi-service business, like to send money, like a Western Union type of thing. So people can come, send packages, those type of small business like that.
Yeah.
So he made that clarification, the application.
Do you know when that business was closed?
He closed, according to him, that was July 2019. And
He said he closed it in 2019?
Yeah, and he opened the business on June 2016 approximately. He wasn't 100% sure of the exact date. Yeah, but that was about the time that he opened the business in July 2019.
Okay, and that's been totally closed since then?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay. Because on your application, you have that business listed and we looked it up.
Yeah.
And in September, it was the sheriff's office rated 75 people were being herded out of the basement for DJ. I'm just looking for my papers for DJing and people in the basement. February 21
Okay.
this year,
Okay.
February 21, 2021, 300 people were in there. Illegally selling alcohol, no masks, hookah, it was basically busted by the police. It was on WPIX News and it was also in the Post.
I recall that he told me that he gave me the paper.
That was 5 weeks ago.
He gave me the paper 5 weeks ago.
5 weeks ago, this year,
5 weeks
February.
ago.
Yes.
Luis, me están diciendo que hace 5 semanas había, digamos, un suceso que no me comentaste, 5 semanas atrás, que había 300 personas adentro con el basement y...
And because of that, the liquor license was suspended.
5 semanas, ¿no?
5 semanas.
5 semanas, no. Nunca pasó eso. El año pasado fue que lo que pasó, lo que yo le comenté, que estuve en la cárcel y está el documento que yo le presenté a usted, fue el año pasado. 5 semanas, estaba cerrado, estaba arreglando yo el lugar. No puede haber pasado eso aquí. Están confundidos el lugar. Porque lo que pasó a mí, me pasó el año pasado. Pero me pasó el año pasado, last year. Y fue que yo alquilé el lugar a una persona, lo que le comenté, por el cual yo fui a la corte y la corte me dijo que no hay problema, que no lo vuelva a cometer y punto. O sea, pero fue el año pasado. Este año no he estado haciendo nada. Estaba arreglando el lugar. Usted sabe, lo estaba arreglando.
Sí, lo sé, Luis. I'm sorry, Mrs. Barbara. You were saying that it occurred recently 5 weeks ago.
Yes, February 21, 2021. It was in the Post. And if you Google it, you'll see it. And on WPIX News, there's several links for that.
Because he's not renting the full basement. I'm not sure if that's related to the neighbor.
Well, the basement was, they said 75 people were herded out of the basement, I think by the office.
There's no space for that. I'm sure because he actually renting like 3/4 of the basement, or the other quarter of the basement. I don't know who actually uses it, but there is no way that basement is really teeny.
Exactly.
And you can see, it's no way that he actually can fit that many people.
And what about February 21, 2021?
He's that time he was still renovating the place. I'm not sure.
It's not this location, Barbara. I think she's confused. This is the
No, this is Sueño Americano.
This is the
He
prior
also
location.
has his license. And he was We're talking
Oh.
about Sueño Americano.
Oh, Sueño Americano. Sorry.
Yes.
So no,
yes.
Sueño Americano. Nah, he actually he quit the place back in
Ese es el problema tuyo.
December 2019.
But he listed it on this new application.
Right.
New application.
No, so it was listed on the application that you submitted that he had prior management experience at that location.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yes.
I think what we're trying to say, and Barbara, I have some slides, maybe I should go through them. What we did in some of our background research is that at the time that he was a manager, that there were problems in the community at that location. We reached out to the community board, which was Community Board 3. And in the time period that he said he was part of the management team, there were issues, violations to their stipulation agreement with the community board, that there
I
was
see.
promoted events being held. There was nightclub type of events there. And that's a concern. You know what, Barbara, I'm gonna share my screen just so maybe we could.
Sure.
Yeah, but you also, I'm sorry, but you mentioned that was recently 5 weeks ago in Sueño Americano.
Yeah.
But yeah, but he
300
was,
people were taken out. Okay.
yeah, he was not there, but he wasn't in part of the team until
Right, but while he
December
was there,
2019.
okay, but while he was there, Josephine just stated that there were promoted events. Now, at the last submission, he and his sister stated that the promoted events that they had at Luann's Coffee Bar, that was all a mistake and it was based on their inexperience. So it
Oh,
just
yeah.
seems like
Okay.
also this is a repetitive behavior that's continuing to go on. So I'm just going to continue. Josephine, you're welcome to post anything you like. I'm just going to read the report as I have written based on the questionnaire that was filled out. So
Okay.
this is a new application for a new liquor license for liquor, wine, beer, and cider submitted for Luann's Coffee Bar, located on the first floor of 7405 3rd Avenue. Luann's Coffee Shop is listed as a bar and tavern on the questionnaire, although the name of it is a coffee shop. The attorney, as we know, is Sandra Hung. The owner of this establishment is Luis A. Garcia Maldonado. The hours of operation have changed from June. His intention is to extend it 2 extra hours. So Monday, 10 a.m. to 12 a.m., music until 10 p.m. Tuesday and Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 12 a.m., music until 10 p.m. Thursday, it is Thursday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. On the last application that was denied, that was up until 2 a.m. So this is 2 hours later, music until 11. Sunday, and now it's a little difficult. I'm assuming that's 10 a.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm assuming that's 10 a.m. until 12 a.m., music until 12 a.m. There will be background music. The signage on the storefront is Luann's with no mention of a coffee bar as indicated on the application. The menu states that the hours of operation are from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. The items on the menu do not reflect a coffee bar, but rather a full restaurant. There is a letter of no objection. Mr. Maldonado states that the certificate of occupancy is 74 on the questionnaire, but there is no certificate of occupancy for this premise. And anticipated persons occupying the premises, including the staff, are 30 with just 6 small tables. The applicant noted that they will not be promoted events or private parties. They will not be hired security. They will be background music. Will be background music used. Now, I'm just going to pause there for a second. You see that, my idea of a coffee shop would be coffee, pastries, cakes, maybe, some drinks, but there's nothing on here that reflects what is being presented to the State Liquor Authority. I just want that to be noted for the record. The applicant answered no to the item on page 5, requesting that all doors remain closed when amplified music is played. The applicant has not responded to adhering to New York City noise and NYPD recommendations because he cited that he did not receive those recommendations. From the last application, he could have just called the local police precinct to get that. And this is, in my mind, I don't know how the committee feels yet. This just adds to the difficulties that we had at the last premise. And saying that, I don't know what the NYPD recommendations and New York City Life recommendations are because I didn't get it. When they've been through this and they could have called the local police precinct for that brochure. The question requesting agreement that there will be no smoking in the outdoor area was marked as N8. You don't have to have outdoor seating in order for the applicant to say, if I find my patron smoking, I will say, please don't smoke. That's an easy thing, but he said not applicable for him. The photos submitted are of the boiler room countertops, 2 restrooms still under repair. That's what we received. And 6 small tables in the establishment itself. In the report from June, several residents testified that there was loud music, karaoke, and a fully stocked bar. The police conducted 2 visits and observed alcohol on both occasions. This establishment is not licensed by the SLA. And as an attorney, I believe you also know that there is no bring your own booze in New York State.
That's correct.
The owner, when the police were there, the owner failed to produce receipts or records for the alcohol. The police disposed of the alcohol. In addition, there were 20 calls from September 2019 through January 2020 for loud music and partying. On February 1, 2020, there were 2 arrests for serious physical altercation. For a physical altercation, there was blood and destruction of property were evident. One arrestee was of Mr. Maldonado. Police noted alcohol was being sold. Minors were consuming alcohol, thereby endangering the welfare of minors. There were no receipts or records of the business for inspection. The use of marijuana was witnessed, and the taser and pepper spray were recovered. There is additional adverse history for this establishment. The 20 calls, some calls were numerous in the same evening. For all of these 20 calls, it was loud music and party. Some of these calls were made as late as 2:37 a.m. And this is after the soundboard installation inspection. Provided to us by Captain Conwell, the former police precinct commander of the 6A precinct. There was an email from the captain dated January 3rd, 2020. The precinct conducted 2 visits there, observing alcohol on both occasions. The precinct inspected the business and found a fully stocked bar. The owner failed to produce receipts and records for the alcohol. Our police captain informed us that this is a storefront operating as a bar, unlawfully selling alcohol, and party hall nightclub mostly on weekends. This establishment is once again not licensed by the SLA. It is supposed to be a coffee bar. January 3rd, 2020 is the date of the second inspection. Multiple summonses were issued regarding unlawful dealings with alcohol, and much alcohol was destroyed by law enforcement. That's just, he provided the notations about the altercation. And like I said already, this is a repeat that Mr. Garcia and the patron were arrested. Our new police captain, Captain Tolson, and officers Pane Pinto and Inter Bretson participated at the June general meeting, reiterating the commander's written report. Bridget Garcia and Mr. Garcia Maldonado were given an opportunity to speak then. They absolutely did. And basically, Bridget did do most of the speaking. Mr. Maldonado did come in. She stated that she is sorry for what has happened, and so the inexperience is the cause of these events, and she took full responsibility. The committee further questioned her repeated complaints, noise, promoted events, illegal use of alcohol, and the need for police intervention. And they were aware of the problems ongoing. The owner of the property was aware. The owner of the establishment informed us that the premise was sublet out to several different parties who were sponsoring promoted events. The excuse of inexperience was not accepted. The committee stated clearly that we wholeheartedly support our local businesses, but it is unacceptable to disregard New York state laws by selling alcohol without a license, endanger the welfare of minors, to continually disrupt the quality of life in our community, and to show blatant disregard to the essence of this family-oriented neighborhood. The disregard of the number of 311 calls for repeated complaints for noise since the beginning of this tenancy with no remedy, and the knowing illegal use of the establishment as a bar with the continued consumption of sale of alcohol without a license, including the need for 911 police intervention on several occasions, is reprehensible. Now, moving this forward, restaurants have been closed for most of this past year. In fact, they have been open for just over 100 days in total. That's including from October 1 through December 11th. That's 2 months, 10 days, 71 days. They were closed from December 12th through February 17th, and that's 68 days. So basically, we're talking about, they're open 112 days, closed the rest of the year. And I feel, and I think the rest of the board feels, that if this were normal times, this would be getting a denial in June, coming back at the end of September, beginning of October, and saying, I don't care what you said, I disrespect your opinion, I'm reapplying, but only reapplying with a larger capacity for selling alcohol and a longer night. So I don't see any reason for the board to alter its decision from June, which was to deny this application. Does anyone on the committee, the board members, want to say something? You just raise your hand, and Josephine, you can just unmute them. Josephine?
Yep.
I think I saw
looking.
Michael. The Michael raised his
Michael
hand.
Festa? Michael, you're on mute. I'm sorry, you have to unmute.
No, my camera was loose. Sorry, I was adjusting it.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't see any
Anyone else?
questions.
But if I could jump in, Barbara, I think you pretty much said it all. I mean, I don't think we have any evidence to the contrary where we can change the decision. In fact, I think it's gotten worse. So, I mean, I think you said it all. I wholeheartedly agree with what you said.
Right. And the thing that also bothers me is, besides all of, the behavior in the past, I just think that if it was, it's represented itself to the state liquor authority as a coffee bar, a serious person would have a menu for a coffee bar and be opened for the hours of a coffee bar to 11, 12 o'clock. If someone really wanted a business that was going to be reflective of a coffee bar. So
I think there is a lot of information here that is very much conflicting, and therefore, I have no problem to motion to deny this application, honestly.
Okay. In June, our motion that was passed by the entire board was a motion requested to reiterate the Community Board 10's decision to deny this application and to send a letter to New York State Liquor Authority regarding the actions of this owner. Do I have a second on that motion? Sandy? Okay, all in favor?
I have a polling.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so it's in favor of the motion to deny this application and to reiterate Community Board 10's decision to deny this application and to send a letter to the New York State Liquor Authority regarding the actions of this owner. All in favor, please check your box.
You check your boxes.
Opposed, recuse, abstain, and please submit.
Okay, we have 9 members, 10 voted. We have 10 members here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, board members only. Okay, the motion carries.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you, board members. I will see you at the regular general board meeting. Okay, thank you all, everyone.